is not with us at the moment. She is at a family event and will be here later in the evening. Just for clarity, we kind of left downstairs abruptly. Could I please just get another motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Very good. We are now out of executive session. So the next item on our special meeting agenda is a presentation of Bus Patrol by Mr. Brad McDowell. Mr. McDowell, it's good to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having us here.
You are very welcome. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. My name is Brad McDowell. I actually live right down in Hampden, and I am the Community Partnership Manager for Bus Patrol. What that means is, since 2024, we've had a new state law to help us combat stop arm infractions on the school bus with automated enforcement. And so my job here is to help municipalities fold into that program, get enrolled in that program, and move forward. We can do that at no cost. We can provide you with revenue, and we provide all of the training, maintenance, moving buses if you switch bus operators or buy your own buses. And I'll go through that all today, and then I'll try to breeze through this presentation because it can be quite long if I don't. Please feel free. I hope there's an opportunity for a Q&A after that, if that makes sense. And then if it's appropriate, I'll drop business cards by, so that'll have my personal cell phone number on it. Please feel free to call or text me there anytime if you want to have other conversation or if questions come up to you tonight or over the coming days.
Mr. McDowell, if I could just ask, we have a public hearing at 6:55, so I would like people to have as much opportunity as they can to answer questions. I think I've seen your presentation. It is very compelling.
Yeah.
And I think that people will get the gist. So I would just, I would like to try to stay on time as much as we can.
Absolutely. I will breeze through this. So who we are Bus Patrol. Few things that make us different, and this is going to be a very truncated version of this slide. Unmatched experience is really the first thing I would say sets us apart. It's why we're on 9 out of 10 school buses nationally that are equipped with a stop arm enforcement program. That is over 45,000 buses nationwide, and we are the only ones on large fleets. So we are the only company that's equipped a fleet that is over 800 buses, and our largest fleet is actually over 5,000, just over the water in Suffolk County. I would say that unmatched technology is really the second arm of that. We are the only in the industry to have an implemented AI technology. Why is that different? I'll show you in a little bit what that looks like, but we use AI instead of LiDAR or radar. While AI has become a really big buzzword that every company is throwing at you, we've been doing it since 2017, and essentially what it means is the system can differentiate between a car, a bicycle, a bird. We can knock out all those nonsense, infractions for you, right? Hey, something went by your stop arm. The system already knows if that's a vehicle or not. It grabs the license plate and it categorizes that for you into a evidence package. There are human reviews as well, and I'll go over that as well before you see it. And then unmatched local commitment. We are in communities. We are doing Chuck events during April, vacation at libraries. We are in classrooms during National School Bus Safety Week in October. We really go above and beyond to do everything from tabling at events, whether it's a parade or a farmer's market, to being in your classrooms, educating students about, hey, how do you stay out of the danger zone? How do you stay where the bus driver sees you? And how do you make it safer to get to and from school? How do you help your bus driver? And so that comes with fun coloring books and cartoons, and the kids really love it, and we've done it all over the country, and really excited at the prospect of being able to bring that here to Enfield. Our mission is to make school, the journey to and from school safer. That is what we do. We are a mission-driven organization, and for that reason, I just want to highlight that we always equip every bus. If anyone dealt with the old program like I did in Hampden, it was the company gets to pick and choose your bus, and they do that based on financial metrics, and then you're stuck as a council member explaining to community members either why their students aren't protected or why that community is getting all the tickets. And so Bus Patrol has never done that. Bus Patrol has always gone full fleet with every partner. I'm going to mostly skip over the law. I will just highlight that it is a $250 civil penalty. That means no points on the license. That means nothing follows them in terms of insurance. Why do we do that? It's because it's stickier. You can't go to court and say, well, it wasn't me passing the school bus, and that was a huge problem with the old system. We can get your labor very close to zero. You're going to have a 30 to 60 second video that somebody has to watch and say yes or no to. Then it comes back to us to do all the mailing, payment processing, and printing and all that work. There will be some local administrative hearings that you sometimes have to go through, but usually you have that already with parking authority. I don't think I have to highlight this. I think most of you have already seen a lot of the press with us in communities from New Haven to Bridgeport. Vernon just enrolled, so I'll skip this, but we do have a huge presence in Connecticut, having just opened a new headquarters for New England in Bridgeport. List of a lot of towns that we go through. I will skip this one for the sake of time, but suffice to say that we, like I said, are over 90% of the industry. I did have a request to play this video. It is 3 minutes. Let me know if you want to stop at any point, but that's probably going to close out the presentation.
Layla, come here. No, wait! Stop!
The scenes are heart-stopping. Vehicles narrowly missing children, speeding by school buses with the stop arm out and lights flashing. This car nearly hitting 2 children waiting for the bus in Indiana earlier this year. And as more school districts begin classes across the country, a company called Bus Patrol is using AI-powered cameras on more than 40,000 buses in 22 states to catch vehicle violations. The Lower Merion School District outside Philadelphia is using the cameras this school year.
That stop sign comes out, those cameras start recording.
All 135 school buses in their fleet now outfitted with the cameras.
We're hoping we see no violations because that would be safest for kids, but realistically our expectation is we're going to start seeing a lot of them then.
They took us on a routine bus route to demonstrate how it works. Terry Robinson has been driving a school bus for 21 years. Terry, how often are you seeing people just drive by with that stop sign out?
Multiple times every day.
And in just 30 minutes, we saw several possible violations. Okay, so we have the stop sign out. This car ignoring the stop arm as it makes a turn past the bus.
That car that turned should have stopped.
So even across the street, they should have stopped.
Everything stops.
And multiple cars going past the bus on the other side of the road, failing to stop despite the flashing lights and visible stop sign. Oh, we got a bunch of cars. According to police, once a violation is identified on the camera, the company flags it to the local police department for review. And if they issue a ticket, it's a hefty fine, $300 in Pennsylvania for a first-time violation.
This system allows us to be at every stop for every school bus. So it's really going to effectively increase how we can enforce these violations.
In the nearby
Because like I said, it is a long... Yeah, I'm gonna pause it there just because it goes on. We've had several Connecticut features. We like to show this one because it's Good Morning America, and I think that's important. But I mean, the stop arm footage is something we see in every community. I could show you footage that looks like that from Shelton, from North Haven, which you might have seen in the news recently, and Bridgeport, New Haven, and unfortunately, you're going to see it here as well. The good news is we can do something about it. We have reduced stop arm violations in Bridgeport over 40% in just a year and a half. And so we look forward to doing that here as well.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much.
I just want to add something. Before we brought Brad in here, we had a meeting with all the stakeholders in the town of Enfield because I wasn't sure, or we weren't sure, did we have a need for this video camera monitoring here. We brought in the superintendent, we brought in the bus driver owner, the owner of the bus driver company and their dispatcher. And this was a couple months ago, but the bus driver owner said that they had about 90 violations just that they can collect their license plates from. There was another 90 they couldn't even collect. This happens all the time, all day long. The superintendent says Route 5, every day he looks out the window, 4 or 5 people driving through. It's a big problem in Enfield, which I was surprised to hear. So I just wanted you guys to know we did a little bit of homework. There is a problem.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And for the record, I believe this went through the Joint Security Subcommittee.
That is correct.
Where this was presented, and it was referred to the whole council from that committee. Councilor Pisner.
I just have a couple of questions just so I can clarify in my own brain. So there's no cost to the town on this?
None.
Zero cost. And Smith Bus, you said, is on board with this? And obviously, the chief has been brought in on this?
He was a stakeholder at the meeting too, and he's on board.
Okay, so because my other thing is they're going to be sending this footage to your local PD, how much time is that going to take our officers? And are they the ones that actually go and bring the it's mailed? I mean, how's that work?
Yeah, so in terms of time commitment, and I'd love to go over this slide real briefly, but I'll answer your question directly first. In terms of time commitment, you're going to see 30 to 60 seconds a ticket. Sometimes that gets up to 90 seconds if you do civilian review, but police officers reviewing tickets, which you can do in the state of Connecticut, by the way. If you decide to have civilians review, you can do that. If you decide to do police review, we see that average be somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. Just police tend to know what they're looking at, and they tend to be really quick at being able to judge, watch the video, and it's either an infraction or not. That's all they have to do. So that's where I would like to sort of highlight this slide. In addition to AI, we also have a team of video reviewers that have been trained on Connecticut state law. So every single evidence package has to go through 2 of them. Only when both of them watch that video and say, yes, that's a legitimate infraction, that's when it comes over to your video reviewers. And so they're watching a video that's already gone through this 3-step process of whittling out the nonsense. And so they're getting really just the most the infractions that are legitimate and serious. In terms of your other question, the process, we do all payment, payment processing, mailing, printing, all of that. So all they have to do is watch that video, hit yes or no, send it back to us. I'd be very surprised if you were spending more than a couple hours a week on this.
And do you get a portion of those fines? Or?
We do. So we take $250 per bus per month and $65 per ticket that we're successful in collecting out of program revenue. The remaining program revenue will go to you. In a very conservative estimate, we estimated that that'll be a little over half initially. I will say, I always want to be very clear, the goal here is to get the infractions down. The goal here is to reduce the number of folks that are passing school buses and reduce the number of people we are sending tickets. So 5 years from now, when hopefully we're talking about renewing, I hope that you look at the reduced revenue at that time as a success in the program. But initially, there will be some significant revenue for you.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Aaron.
Just one quick question. Second and third offense, does the fine go up?
It does not. Unfortunately, if you want to look it up, it's Public Act 24-107, and that's just what we're stuck with is $250 per infraction because it's attached to the license plate, not the driver.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Councilor Ungeyer.
Just quickly, do you have a percentage of the people that actually send in the payment?
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Just throw it out.
No, I mean, certainly there's a rate of folks that scofflaw, we call them, right? It's pretty low. So you can go to private collections if you want. There's been talk at the legislature about potentially attaching it to registration or taxes. That has not been done yet. And nothing's going to come out of this session for that. So it would be at least a year before we see something like that. For now, you're welcome to go to private collections. We can do that for you if you decide to do that. No community is, just thinking of my district, like where I sell, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, not a single program has decided to go with private collections. I want to say it's below 5%. You're gonna have some, but it's below 5%. Your hearing rate will be about another 5%, and then there's a percentage of folks who will ask for a rate. Those hearings will get thrown out, or you throw out those tickets. But our pay rate is usually close to 80%.
Thank you.
You got it.
So I'd like to talk a little bit more about the numbers because
Please.
I think my sense is as folks think about it, I think that's kind of where we might get more questions.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit more, as I understand, how you actually make money. Mm-hmm. So you said the first ticket, $250 per bus, is your revenue.
Essentially, we're not necessarily taking one ticket per each bus, but yeah, if you have 100 buses in your fleet and we're installed on all of them, we'll take 250 times 100 every month.
Got it.
And so that essentially chalks up to your first 100 tickets.
Yeah. So it's not that specific bus, but it is the total number of buses times $250.
Yeah.
And then what would an average bus and an average bus route, how many times does someone go through the red lights on average based on the experience that you've gotten from all the other programs and cities that you've done?
Yeah, so for the sake of the projections that I've provided you, we assume 0.03 per bus per day. So that's 2 or 3 infractions per bus per day. We know that right out on your main road, you're going to see more than that, right? Stratford, as an example, just because I was looking at their data earlier today, last Friday they did almost 1.5 per bus per day on just on Friday, right? They did 100 across about 60 buses, 60 something buses. So I feel like that's fairly comparable to you. Again, I would never provide you a projection based on that number. I'm always going to try to under-promise and over-deliver. So for the sake of the projections that we've given you, it's 0.03 per bus per day.
Understood.
Sorry, 0.3 per bus per day. Sorry, 0.3.
Sure. Okay, understood. I just wanted to clarify how that works.
I think just to clarify, you're going to see some buses that have 0, right? If you have buses that are picking folks up on cul-de-sacs and dead ends, they're going to have 0. You're going to have buses that are having 5 to 10 per bus stop. So it'll average out.
Understood.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
One thing I just want to make clear to Deputy Pisner's comment, there's no cash outlay from the town to start this program, but that there is a cost to the town and that they collect when they collect the tickets.
That's correct, but it can only ever be collected out of program revenue. So if that $250 per bus per month were ever to, let's say you issued in a given month, you have 100 buses in your fleet, and one month you issue 99 tickets, and that's it, right? We've done a really good job, and we've gotten the rated tickets down way, way low. We will not ask you or send you an invoice for that extra $250 per bus per month. The amount that we were paid each month can never exceed the program revenue, ever, for the life of the program.
Yep. Okay.
Right,
And I believe that the chief, when considered what staff time would be involved in this, and
Yep. And he also
the
considered
consensus was that it was
using
it would
a
still be
civil
self-funding.
service aid. It could be retired cops that we have working there too.
Right.
It may not have to be someone up in patrol, but there's other resources that they have. So he has options. He asked a lot of good questions when he came before. So
He did. And the understanding was this is not overtime. This is not staff
Correct.
that we don't already have. We can execute the program with current staff without
with
without
minimal
creating
impact.
additional overhead
No
on the
additional
town
staff.
side.
He did. Correct.
Okay. All right. Last call. Anybody with any questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are going to go in recess until 6:55 when the public hearing is scheduled to start. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Did you
Nope.
need something?
Almost there.
Is that okay?
We're
Good evening. The time is now 6:55, and I would like to call the public hearing to order. With roll call, please, Sheila.
Counselor Allegro.
Here.
Mayor Sakala is absent. Counselor Crisati is absent. Counselor Hall is absent. Counselor Mangini.
Here.
Counselor Matthews.
Here.
Counselor Pisner. Here. Deputy Mayor Santinella.
Here.
Counselor Thomas.
Here.
Counselor Ungary.
Here.
And Counselor Zanoni.
Here.
8 members are present, 3 are absent.
Thank you. The following notice of public hearing was published in the Journal Enquirer on Tuesday, May 25th, 2026, and Monday, May 11th, 2026. Town of Enfield legal notice. Notice is hereby given that the Town of Enfield shall hold a public hearing in the Enfield Town Council, the Enfield Town Hall Council Chambers, 820 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut, on Monday, May 18th, 2026 at 6:55 p.m. to allow interested citizens an opportunity to express their opinion regarding the proposed disposition of Lot 29 Main Street by the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation. Additional information is available by calling the Office of the Town Manager at 860-253-6350, dated this first day of May 2026. Sheila Bailey, Town Clerk. The rules for our public hearing: there is no time limit, but I ask that each person not take too much time so that everyone will have an opportunity to speak. After each person who desires has had one chance to speak, I shall permit those individuals who desire a second chance. After those individuals who desire to speak a second time, I shall permit those individuals who desire a third, fourth, etc. time. Please refrain from personalities. Is there anybody who would like to speak during the public hearing? Is there anybody that would like to speak during the public hearing? Last time, anybody who would like to speak during the public hearing? Hearing no public comment, I declare the public hearing closed. We will remain adjourned for 3 minutes until 7 o'clock, and we will start our regular meeting. Thank you. O'clock, and I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Enfield Town Council to order. If you could please rise for a prayer. Heavenly Father, guide us tonight with wisdom, humility, and compassion. Help us remember that we are here to serve every member of this community, especially those who may sometimes feel unheard, unseen, or different from those around them. Grant us the ability to disagree with respect, to listen with open hearts, to lead with kindness and understanding. Remind us that a strong community is built not through uniformity, but through welcoming one another with dignity and grace. May our decisions tonight reflect cooperation, integrity, and a shared commitment to the good of all. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Santillo.
Here.
Councilor Thomas.
Here.
Councilor Ungary. Here. Councilor Zanoni.
Here.
Councilor Allegro.
Here.
Mayor Sakala is absent. Councilor Casati is absent. And Councilor Hall is absent. Councilor Mangini.
Here.
Councilor Matthews.
Here.
Councilor Kisner.
Here.
8 members are present, 3 are absent.
The fire evacuation announcement. In the event of a fire, there are 2 doors to the rear of the chamber. Please exit down the stairs and away from the building. Alternatively, there are 2 doors to my left. Please feel free to exit through those doors, down the stairs, and away from the building. Next, approval of minutes of preceding meetings. We got to change the title of that, I think. Mayor Sakala will be here shortly. She is at a event with her daughter this evening, and as soon as that concludes, she's going to be joining us. So, okay, could I have a motion to accept the minutes of the special meeting from April 27th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Corrections, additions, comments? All in favor? 8 in favor. Next, the minutes from the special meeting of April 29th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, corrections? No, hearing none. All in favor? 8 in favor, none against. Minutes from the special meeting of May 4th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any comments, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? All against? Okay, 8. I'm sorry. All right. Minutes from the regular meeting of May 4th, 2026.
So moved. Second.
Any comments or corrections? Seeing none, all in favor? Against, abstentions? 8 in favor, none against. The special meeting, minutes from the special meeting, May 6th, 2026.
So moved. Second.
Any comments, corrections, omissions? Nope. Okay, seeing none, all in favor? 8 in favor, none against. And finally, the minutes from the special meeting of May 7th, 2026.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any comments, corrections, or changes? Nope. All in favor? Against? Abstentions? 8 in favor, no abstentions. Next on our agenda, special guests. We have a proclamation recognizing National Public Works Week. Do we, Mr. Town Manager, do we have somebody here?
We have the director.
We have the director. I didn't see him. He was blending in with everybody back there. Donald, you got up and took your seat like you had something to say, so I was waiting. So, you know, normally we're waiting to hear how many tens of thousands of dollars you're going to spend. But today, I guess I'm sure that is. I'm sure that is. Okay. This is a proclamation designating May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week, rooted in service, powered by community. whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to the sustainability and resilience and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of people of Enfield. And whereas these infrastructures, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of Enfield to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 60th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now therefore, I, Gina Sakala, Mayor of the Town of Enfield, on behalf of the Town Council, the Town Administration, and our entire community, do hereby recognize the week of May 17th to the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contribution they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for us all. Signed, Mayor Gina Sakala, May 18th, 2026.
Thank you to the mayor, the deputy mayor, and all the councilors here for this great honor, and also for bringing awareness to all the things that DPW does for the residents on a daily basis. Simple things like picking up trees that have fallen in the middle of the night, to snow plowing, to storm response, to managing an incredibly difficult, complex system of infrastructure all throughout the town. I am deeply proud of all 136 employees, and I just wanted to again thank everything that Council has done for us, again, because we are rooted in service and we're powered by this community. So, thank you.
Next on our agenda is public communications and petitions. Thank you very much. So the rules of public communications is you'll have 5 minutes to speak the first time. If you can't finish, you will be able to come up a second time for 3 minutes. We will have public communications later in the meeting only if we are done before 11 o'clock. We have a sign-up sheet, and Lucian Lefebvre is first on the list. And Lucian, before you start, can somebody keep time? That's normally my job, but that's not my job tonight. Does somebody have a? We got it. Okay. Sorry, Lucian. Go ahead.
Lucian Lefebvre, 54 Kimberly Drive, Chairman of the Enfield Veterans Council. Here to talk about our Memorial Day Parade. The last time I was here with my sign. I don't have my sign with me because they have been posted throughout the town to remind people that this coming Sunday, May 24th, is our Memorial Day Parade. So there are roughly about 30 signs posted throughout the town, along with the large sign posted across the street from the town green. So no excuse for people not to know there's a parade this coming weekend. On another note, tomorrow night, I'm honored that the Rotary Club of Enfield spearheaded the Veterans Banner Program It was a great success. Unfortunately, I wish there were more poles that they could have put them on because I know they already have a waiting list. So hopefully next year we can get more up, figure out where to put more up. And as the chairman of the Veterans Council, to the Rotary Club, I thank them and I thank the town for all their help in installing all the banners. It was a large undertaking. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucian. Next, Pam Townsend.
Yeah, he turned it off.
Don't let him shut you off, Pam. Go ahead.
Hi, Pam Townsend, 54 Kimberly Drive, and I am here as a veteran and a representative of the Enfield Veterans Council. And I am pleased to announce that during the past couple of weeks, over 5,000 American flags were placed throughout Enfield at a veteran's grave in honor of their service. This mission could not have happened without the help of the Girl Scouts. Actually, the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts really take the lead on all of this, and the veteran organizations. We thank all of them, including their parents and their scout leaders. It's a huge undertaking. I don't know if anybody has ever been a part of it, but it is massive. And if your veteran did not receive a flag, you may contact the Enfield Veterans Council. The number's on the town website. It's under the Veterans tab. We'll coordinate with you to pick up a flag. I would also like to share that the biggest challenge that we have is finding a grave. Part of the problem is the graves get covered with weeds, they get covered with grass clippings, they get covered with all kinds of stuff. And it's hard to find them. So we ask everybody, if you would please go out a couple of weeks before Memorial Day, a couple of weeks before Veterans Day, and please clean out your loved one's grave so we may find them and honor them with a flag each year. And with that, I have nothing else to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pam. Next, Donna Hamry.
Donna Hamry, 52 New King Street. So I'm speaking tonight in support of the display of the Pride flag and the recognition of Pride Month in June. The hanging of the Pride flag promotes inclusivity and support for the LGBTQ community. The hanging of the flag is considered a meaningful way to create safe spaces, to foster welcoming environments, and is crucial in a visible act of allyship for families and friends. The prior display of the Pride flag on the town hall was a strong message to our community, especially to our young people who are part of the GSAs, the Gay Straight Alliance Clubs, at the middle school, high school, and Isnuntuck. That the students in our community are seen and accepted. The removal of the Pride flag 2 years ago was a painful hit to the LGBTQ+ community in Enfield, leaving some of our community members feeling unsafe and unwelcome in Enfield, which was hurtful and unfortunate. With all the hatred and negativity in our country being directed at the LGBTQ+ community, it is important and a necessary message. The rehanging of the Pride flag will help to deliver the message that all are welcome in Enfield as we join to celebrate Pride Month and all who celebrate it. Thank you to the Enfield Town Council for voting to display the Pride flag once again and to celebrate our beautiful and colorful community with the message of inclusion and acceptance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Donna. Rebecca Green. Rebecca, your name and
That she feels represent her.
don't forget your name and address for the record.
Rebecca Green, Rebecca Green, 152 Sheridan Road. I come here tonight as a mental health professional, a mother, and an ally. Tonight you will be voting on a resolution that will allow the pride flag to be displayed in the town hall once again. I'm here in strong support of this, and I would ask all council members to vote yes. I wanted to share some perspective as someone who has witnessed the very real damage that is done. when we help people-
Excuse me, can you put the mic on? Hit that red button.
My bad. I'm sorry. I wanted to share some perspective as someone who has witnessed the very real damage that is done when we tell people that their existence is not acceptable. I hope I might change some hearts and minds. I want to start by telling all of our LGBTQ+ community members they are seen and valued. I have family, friends, and colleagues within this community, as well as some of their children. I am deeply aware of the impacts that discrimination, hateful rhetoric, and misinformation have on their quality of life. That is exactly why these resolutions are on the agenda tonight. It's why they are so important. We have young people among us who identify as LGBTQ+. They saw people cheer for the removal of a flag that represents them. They have read that their existence is being shoved down people's throats. There are those who don't believe that our young people are capable of knowing who they are at such a young age. Imagine being told by your own elected officials that your visibility is offensive to their sensibilities. The only thing every child needs to know is that they are accepted and loved for who they are. My daughter and I had a conversation about the pride flag a few days ago. She is 6 years old. I knew she would want to watch me on TV again, so I decided to tell her why I was coming back here. This conversation was simple. It didn't talk about dating or relationships. She can't understand that yet. I simply told her that this flag represents love, acceptance, and visibility. I explained that it is important that we respect all people for who they are, and no one should tell them who they should be or who they should love. These are concepts she can understand. Members of the LGBTQ+ community spent many years hiding who they were. They have been abused and beaten. Some have lost their lives just for living their truth. Enfield lost a child from our own community this school year. Nearly 40 to 45% of LGBTQ youth consider seriously attempting suicide every year, a rate that jumps to 46% among transgender and non-binary youth. Approximately 12 to 20% of LGBTQ youth report having attempted suicide in the last year. Studies consistently point to anti-LGBTQ discrimination, victimization, and unsupportive social or political environments as the primary drivers of these disparities. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. Our actions have real consequences, and supporting Pride Month and hanging a pride flag outside this building hurts no one. The removal of those things, however, does real harm to real people. Please remember that our children are watching us. The path of kindness and love is a much easier road to travel. Please walk with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next, Justin Elliman.
I want to check for it's on. Justin Elliman, 6225 Bigelow Commons. I came here to speak tonight not as a member of the LGBTQ community, but as an ally to it. I think often, from the outside, it's hard to understand what's happening to that community. It's hard to, as someone who did not experience the hate that they experience, to truly empathize with it. And I understand that. But I'm also a Latino, and I have faced hate from that way that I can relate to the LGBTQ community. I've had people told me I should die for who I am, which is crazy because you wouldn't look at me and think that, but some people, they're crafty with that and they can tell. So I understand what it's like to receive hatred, and I understand how hard it is to deal with that. And I don't have to deal with it a lot. So for the people who have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis, I can't even imagine the struggle, the hardships that they have to undergo just to keep them going day to day. And that's why I think doing something like this, putting the pride flag up on town, shows that our elected officials and our town recognizes these people and recognizes their hardships. And we're saying that we see you and we're here for you. You can trust us. And I hope the community understands that we want to help you and we want to support you and we want to be here for you. I think it is very trying times for this community. And I think even if it's a small thing, even if it's just a flag. For some people, it can mean the world, and that's why we should do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Is there anybody else that would like to speak that has not signed up? Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Okay, I declare public communications over, and I would like to turn the meeting over to our mayor.
Why, thank you. I apologize for my tardiness. So we are at Councilor Communications and Petitions, item 9 on the agenda. Just in time for everybody to hear me talk. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have anything to say today. So we're going to go sort of down the line a little. Councilor Legro.
Yes. I just want to say that the JFK Middle School, this is their spring concert series, and we have 2 concerts coming up within the next week. Thursday, May 21st, JFK Band Concert will be at 6:30 in the JFK Auditorium. And then on Thursday, May 28th, the JFK Orchestra Concert will be at 6:30 and again at the JFK Auditorium. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Mangini?
Lucian, you covered everything for me. However, I just wanted to remind people about tomorrow night. Rotary did a phenomenal job with the flags, honoring our veterans, and I would encourage everyone to make an attempt to come by and just celebrate with the veterans and with the Rotary Club. Phenomenal to honor those who fought for our freedoms. It's just a tremendous feat that they brought forward. I'm really proud of the Rotary and the veterans for this. I do want to, through our mayor to our town manager, received a request from a resident in District 3, the Hazardville section. Apparently, the Memorial Park, which is the park on the corner of School Street, has fallen to some disarray, and apparently there's some actually veteran markers there, I think 4, that need to be tended to. And apparently the town had been doing this work, had been accomplishing this role, and for some reason it has stopped. And I'm going to ask very graciously if we could please get the town back out there to find out how we can take care of our veteran markers and then also clean up the park the way it should be. I would appreciate that, and I know the residents would. And that's all I have for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Matthews?
Thank you. First, I would like to congratulate Opera House players on the closing of their show, Merrily We Roll Along. It ran for 3 weekends, and they did an excellent job. Councilor Allegro actually saw me at one of the performances. We definitely enjoyed it. Next up for Opera House players is Grease, which will be premiering in August. It is the family summer show production, and the new season was also just released. Next year, Opera House players will be putting on Avenue Q in the fall, Finding Neverland in the winter, Something Rotten in the spring, and Frozen for our family summer show. For information on how to get involved, you can follow them on their website and social media. I would also like to talk about the Enfield 4th of July celebration, which is coming up very quickly. We are looking for community organizations to take place in the celebration. We are also looking for nonprofits, organizations to take place in our parade. We are really trying to do it up this year since it is the 250th birthday of America. You can find more information on how to sign up for the parade or for any of the community events at enfieldcelebration.org. And that is all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Prisoner? Anything?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was looking up a date. I want to say thank you to the Kiwanis Club here in town. They held their 2nd annual bike rodeo. I unfortunately could not go. I had My grandson was playing t-ball, followed by my granddaughter playing lacrosse. So I did let them know that I couldn't join them this year, but I want to thank the Kiwanis Club. They are doing a tremendous job in our community, and I just think they're a great asset, so I want to just give them a shout out. Yes, the banners, I can't say enough of good things about those banners other than maybe next year we do them two-sided. And then we can have 350 instead of the 150. But anyways, I'm looking forward to that. Department of Social Services on Tuesday, the 26th at Alcorn from 3:30 to 5. We are invited to a walkathon there to highlight mental illness in our young people. So if anybody is interested in partaking in that, there will be pizza and an ice cream truck from what I understand. You can go on their website and do that. And I just want to give a shout out, and I was looking at the date because I know, I don't know if we have another meeting before the adult ed graduation, but I do want to give a shout out to all of those that will be graduating. It takes a huge commitment, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one of them and congratulate them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thomas?
I'd just like to echo what Lucian and Councilor Mangini said about the parade on the 24th at 1 p.m. Please show up. Please bring your family. It's going to be great. And that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Ungary?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In addition to what Lucian shared about tomorrow and the dedication of the banners, I want to remind people, you can't say it too often, to please bring a chair. It'll be out in where the band shell is, and it's going to be very hot. They're going to have some water and some cookies available, but it's going to be very warm, but bring a chair. Marie mentioned the adult education. That's one of my favorite events to attend every year. These students, each one of them have a wonderful story during a time in their life. Life threw them a curve, and they had to regroup and come back and get their certificate, and I'm so proud of all of them, and I just look forward to going on June 4th. I have some announcements from the Senior Center. On June 5th at 11:30, the police are serving hamburgers and hot dogs, and they're going to have a band playing. And so it's free to come, but they want you to pick up a ticket. That way they know how much food to purchase. And yeah, they need a head count. Also at the Senior Center, July 9th, Cheryl Fay will do a live one-person performance of Eleanor Roosevelt, and that will be at 1:30. And through the mayor to the town manager, if that could be added to our list of the 250 celebration events that are going on in town. I spoke to Aaron about that. On June 3rd at 5:30, the Senior Center, they're offering a class on self-defense. But you have to call and reserve a spot. And their number is 860-763-7425. And on June 12th, the Great Room at the Senior Center is going to be dedicated to Kate Talarita, and that's at 3 p.m. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Zanoni, anything? All right. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, I just wanted to thank everybody that came out to the blood drive that was held in memory of Jamie Nickerson. I went as a walk-in, and they were booked, and I wasn't able to give blood that day, but they collected 50 pints of blood, which is quite an impressive blood drive, and so that is quite a testament to his memory and the commitment that the people of this community have made. I also, through the mayor to the town manager, question I wanted to revisit. There was a resident on Spring Street who had some concerns about wrong way traffic, and I know that got sent to public safety. Have we doubled back with sort of an answer or response? And I also want to apologize. I did not ask you about this before this meeting, so I am kind of putting you on the spot.
No, we haven't. We'll have to do that.
Okay, thank you. I'd appreciate it because I feel like that's just something that keeps coming back, and I just like to bring it to some resolution. And the last thing is a reminder, the Enfield Police Explorers will be having their annual pig roast fundraiser on June 20th from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Moose Lodge on South Road. Tickets are $20, and I believe you can get the tickets at the Moose Lodge or by contacting the Enfield Police Explorers. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Item 10, Town Manager Report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I don't have anything tonight.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Anything from you, Steve?
Nothing
I'm
yet.
just kidding.
Just getting ready for the concert, though. So.
Okay. All right. Item 11, Town Attorney Report.
Nothing to report.
All right. Thank you. Item 12, Report of Special Committees of the Council. Any special committees, subcommittees? Go ahead.
Just
Councilor Mangini.
briefly, we did meet the Public Safety Committee. Councilor Hall and I were able to visit the Scantic River Park where they were having some parking issues, and we met with DEEP, town manager and staff, and our chief with the police department. Our town is now, I think effective Memorial Day, going to be doing some monitoring on the weekends. DEEP is going to pick up and also do some monitoring to try and control some of the traffic and some of the activities that are, going down there. We also had our meeting, and we didn't hear anything about Spring Street in our meeting. Just to bring that forward, that was not mentioned at all. But Sergeant Meyer from our Enfield PD is forming or has formed a task force where they're looking at local road safety, and in June we will have an update. And one additional piece of information, we had a resident about a month ago came forward and had offered his thoughts regarding some traffic on Abbey Road. We brought that forward to Public Safety. Chief Fox and Traffic have stated that, in fact, traffic is being tracked with equipment that does track data history, and our PD is applying for grants because they are saying that the enforcement level is greater than their fair share over in that area. But traffic calming can be a consideration, but we need federal grant money to go forward. Everything obviously costs, and the town just can't bear the burden of all that expense. We will have more update on this in June, along with other information coming forward. Thank you. Oh, Councilor Matthews, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Thank you. I would just quickly add that this public safety meeting includes EMS, Public Works, and the police department. And one of the interesting facts that came out of EMS is that reporting of overdoses are down, which we all kind of bantered around a little bit, wondering if it's just because people aren't reporting, people aren't going to the hospital. But I would also like to think, and I think this must be part of it, is that Narcan is much more available in the community, which is definitely saving lives as well. So props to our first responders for that.
All right. Any other special committee or subcommittee reports? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Just real quick. So DPW met, I don't remember, last Monday. Yeah. We would like to arrange a tour of the town council at the annex. We saw a lot, and we just really feel at this point, we had talked about opening it up to the public, but we thought it would be best for us first to invite the council to kind of go and look into sort of some of the infrastructure that's at issue there. So please look out for that. We're going to try to do that coming after Memorial Day, sometime beginning of June. Do you have anything else you want to add about DPW?
No, I just think we have some big decisions to make.
And I think the purpose of this is to sort of enlighten everybody as to just how big those decisions are. So that's it. No other comments.
Thank you. Any other subcommittee reports? All right. Item 13 is unfinished business. There is none. Item 14A, consent agenda. There are 4 items on the consent agenda, 2 resolutions authorizing asset disposal, and 2 reappointments of the Culture and Arts Commission. Unless anybody has any items to speak about, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
All right. All in favor of approving the consent agenda? There is 9 in favor, none against, and 2 absent. All right, what is wrong with my computer tonight? Item 14B, appointments of the Town Council, Patriot Award Committee. There is a new opening due to a person who is no longer on the committee, and is there a nomination for a replacement?
I would nominate Robert Metzler.
Second.
All right.
Move to close nominations.
Thank you. Motion to close made. Is there a second? All right. All in favor of closing nominations? 9 in favor, none against. Any discussion? All right. Roll call, please. Oh, I guess we could do a hand vote. All right. We all in favor of Robert Metzler? 9 in favor, none against. Thank you. All right. Item C, resolution authorizing submission of grant to Safe Streets for All program. All right. Be it resolved that the Town Council of Enfield does hereby authorize the filing of an application for financial assistance through the Safe Streets for All program in the amount not to exceed $300,000, and that the town manager, Matthew Koppler, or his designee, is directed to execute and file such application with the U.S. Department of Transportation to provide such additional information, to execute such other documents as may be required, to offered. Okay, hang on. I need my glasses. Sorry, guys. To execute such other documents as may be required to execute an agreement with the U.S. Department of Transportation if such an agreement is offered, to execute any amendments, decisions, and revisions thereto, and to act as the authorized representative of the Town of Enfield, date prepared for 5/4/2026 by the Economic Community Development.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. We want to go to Aaron. You want to give us a summary? I know we have a summary in our packet, but go ahead.
Yep. Aaron Markovich, Director of Economic and Community Development. Safer Streets for All program is a U.S. Department of Transportation program that is looking to improve safety on our roads, particularly state and federal highways. The program has a lot of money for implementation, but in order to get to implementation, you have to go through planning. So we are at a sort of mid-level stage. There is the basic level planning that the Capital Region Council of Governments has done. With this request would build on that for 4 specific areas: the stretch of Route 5 from the state line to Hazard Ave, the area around Interstate 91 and Elm Street, that interchange, the areas of Palumba, Freshwater, and Cranbrook, and the Four Corners area. The first 3 are areas that are already called out in the Capital Region Council of Government action plan for resolving issues there. The Four Corners is called out because that actually rises to the surface through our own local PD review work. And obviously we've got JFK over there and all sorts of other things. So these would be 4 study areas looking for ways to resolve pedestrian vehicle interactions, if you will. So this is a request. There is a match that is associated for $75,000. That match has not exactly been targeted, but since some of this includes TIF area, we would probably include at least a portion of the match from the TIF funds. We'd have to come back and talk to you if we were so lucky as to be awarded that.
Right. There's no transfer of funds happening tonight, right? Yep. Okay. Any questions for Aaron? All right, sensing none, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella?
4.
Councilor Thomas?
4.
Councilor Ungary?
4.
Councilor Zanoni?
4.
Councilor Allegro?
4.
Mayor Sakala?
4.
Councilor Mangini?
4.
Councilor Matthews?
4.
And Councilor Pisner?
4.
9 in favor, none against.
Thank you. Item 14D, resolution setting a public hearing for the 2026 Neighborhood Assistance Act. Be it resolved that the Enfield Town Council will hold a public hearing in the Enfield Town Hall Council Chambers at 820 Enfield Street, Enfield, Connecticut, on Monday, June 1st, 2026, at 6:50 p.m. to allow interested citizens an opportunity to express their opinion regarding the 2026 Neighborhood Assistance Act proposals. Date prepared 5/7/2026 by the Office of Economic and Development.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. We do this every year. I don't know if anybody has any questions for Aaron. No? Go ahead. Councilor Matthews.
Did anyone apply?
I believe we have 3 applications in for it, and we will go over that at the actual public hearing and all that. This is just to set the hearing.
Perfect. Thank you. Sensing no additional questions, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Counselor Thomas.
4.
Counselor Ungary.
4.
Counselor Zanoni.
4.
Counselor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
4.
Counselor Matthews.
4.
And Counselor Pisner.
4.
9 in favor, none against.
Item 14E, resolution authorizing the town to submit a Community Investment Fund, CIF, application for 132 Weymouth Road project. Whereas pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes, Section 32-285A, the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development is authorized to extend financial assistance for economic development projects. And whereas it is desirable and in the public interest that the town of Enfield make an application to the state for an amount not to exceed $3.5 million for the work related to the environmental remediation of 132 Weymouth Road and to execute an assistance agreement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Town Council that it is, 1, that it is cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites for the state financial assistance imposed by Connecticut General Statutes 32-285A, and 2, that the filing of an application for state financial assistance by the Town of Enfield in the amount not to exceed $3.5 million is hereby approved, and that the town manager, Matthew W. Koppler, or his designee, is directed to execute and file such application with the Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development, to provide such additional information, to execute such other documents as may be required, to execute an assistance agreement with the state of Connecticut or state financial assistance if such agreement is offered, to execute any amendments, decisions, and revisions thereto, and to act as the authorized representative of the town of Enfield. Date prepared 5/7/2026 by the Economic and Community Development.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Aaron, anything from you? This is for the Old Porter and Chester.
Old Porter and Chester, that's right.
CIF grant.
We, if you all remember, the town submitted a pass-through request for the Brownfields program for a similar amount. This would look to match that. The project does require a significant community benefit, which Brownfields more or less fits into. We had a good conversation today with the CIF proponents, the folks that run the program. They had some good suggestions. The folks that bought this property are the ones writing the grant. They're going to do all that work, and then I'll just be reviewing it, so it's not a whole heck of a lot of staff time. They're required to make any matches if they need to or whatever, but this is really more or less a pass-through request.
No budget impact on us.
That's right.
Yep. Any questions or comments? Sensing none, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Counselor Thomas.
4.
Counselor Ungary.
4.
Counselor Zanoni.
4.
Counselor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
4.
Counselor Matthews.
4.
And Counselor Pisner.
4.
9 in favor, none against.
Thank you, Aaron. Item 14F, resolution waiving bids for sludge disposal services at the Enfield Water Pollution Control Facility. Be it resolved that in accordance with Chapter 5, Section 8D of the Enfield Town Charter, the Enfield Town Council does hereby determine that it is against best interests of the town to require competitive bidding for sludge disposal services at the Enfield Water Pollution Control Facilities. Date prepared 5/7/2026 by Donald Nunes, Director of Public Works.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. One of my favorite topics, Donald.
I know.
So, I mean, if you have anything, we're using MDC, who we've been using, and we're just extending their contract.
No, they go year by year. So
Okay.
there's 5 facilities in the state of Connecticut. They're the only ones that could take our sludge. After that, we're branching out into Woonsocket, Cranston, if they can take it. They have capacity, but they may not take it, and we were looking as far away as 211 miles up in Bethlehem, New Hampshire for that. So that would require an entirely different set of protocols and trucking and haul and just everything about it. So this is the best part of it.
Any questions for Donald or Eric? Yeah. Not fun.
No.
It is? Yes. All right. Go right ahead, Councilor Pisner.
So I'm reading this, and it's the estimated cost. So we don't know what the exact cost is going to be.
We have reached out. We start reaching out in late March, early April to the MDC, and gentlemen that we deal with. We'll put it out probably next week or 2 weeks from now. It's been steadily at 10% every single year.
And because we've been, like, let's say, good customers, we've been there for 12 years, they won't extend this contract for more than a year.
No, it's a year-by-year basis because they don't know what their capacity is going to be, or if they need to do renovations, they may be taking. We have a spot for 1,300 tons, and that is it. That's what we get, and that's our max that we can bring there. So.
Okay, thank you.
So there's really no other facility that's going to take our sludge.
Well, there is. There is, but not as local and as 18 miles away that we are currently.
And that the protocol would be the same.
Correct.
Okay. Did you have a question? No? All right. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella,
4.
Councilor Thomas,
4.
Councilor Ungary,
4.
Councilor Zanoni,
4.
Councilor Allegro,
4.
Mayor Sakala,
4.
Councilor Mangini,
4.
Councilor Matthews,
4.
Councilor Pisner,
4.
9 in favor, none against.
All right. Item 14G, a resolution to transfer funds for the Department of Public Works Buildings and Grounds Division for fiscal year 2026 budget shortfalls in the amount of $564,285. Be it resolved that in accordance with Chapter 6, Section 8F of the Town Charter, the following transfer is hereby made from General Funds Revenue Appropriated Fund Balance of $564,285 to Buildings and Grounds, Buildings Repairs and Maintenance in the amount of $100,885, Maintenance and Building Supplies, $22,400, electricity, $441,000. Date prepared 5/7/2026 by Donald Nunes, Director of Public Works.
So moved.
Second.
Just procedurally, do I have to read the certification? It used to be at the bottom of all these resolutions, but now since it's above the be it resolved part, I don't read them. Is that an issue? Do I need to read them? They're not part. It's not part of the resolution.
It's not part of the
Okay.
resolution.
Just making sure. All right, so this is for shortfalls. I believe, was this discussed somewhat in the DPW subcommittee, I believe, prior or at the meeting prior, some of our budget deliberations. The majority of this is electricity. I don't know if you have any additional good news.
There's no good news.
Is there any good news?
Not on this front. If there's
Great.
any questions the council may have, I'm prepared to answer them, but the resolution speaks for itself pretty clearly.
Did you have a question? Go ahead, Councilor Pisner.
So I just have one question. Under the building repairs and maintenance, is any of that for the schools, for any of our school buildings?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I'm just going to ask a question, Mayor, through our mayor to our town manager. That it's been established that we do have some money in what's called the DRIP fund for the DOE. Could any of that be used? Because it's my understanding that that is for maintenance of buildings. And seeing that the town owns the buildings and maintains the building, is there any way we can use any of that money towards this?
Yeah, that money goes directly to the Board of Education, so any discussions would have to be with them to provide that money to us.
But isn't that money for building maintenance?
Again, I think it's something that would have to be discussed with the Board of Education because they get to make that decision on how that money is used.
Okay. I was always under the impression that that was money towards maintaining the building, and we own the building as a town, we maintain the building, that money should be used for that reason. So if we could do some research into that, I would greatly appreciate it. I mean, $280,000 isn't a lot, but it would certainly help. So I would just appreciate how we could move forward with that.
I would encourage you to reach out to the Board of Ed counterparts because it's on the Board of Ed at that point. Deputy Mayor.
So just to Councilor Pisner's point, what is that 100,885 for?
It's an aggregate of expenses for maintaining buildings in town. I have it itemized here by the anticipated as well as already open invoices that we have in our hands for things such as roof repairs, load bank testing of generators, HVAC repairs, compliance inspections.
So Eric, not to interrupt, I don't want to cut you off, but just to Councilor Pisner's point, of this, how much of this is school related? Because I think that was her question.
Somewhere
right?
between 40 and 60%. It would be a similar correlation to any of our building maintenance expenses. This is operating. So as we have 1.5 million square feet roughly of buildings, 1.05 of them are schools.
Got it. So it's ongoing operations. This is not for. We talked about a specific problem in DPW, and I think you're thinking what I'm thinking, right? Am I right?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, that we thought that this is not whatever is on the roof.
The HVAC issue at the Enfield High School. No.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
And that's been repaired in a state. I know there's a lot of folks watching this that everything's working properly at Enfield High currently.
Thank goodness. Councilor Mangini?
Thank you. Thank you for your explanations and your presentation. Are these invoices currently unpaid, and we really have to do this in order to get them paid?
So of the, it's broken down by accounts here. Of the first one, the 5431 account, 36,000 of that is unpaid invoices currently, and we've been moving some things around in order to stay current with our accounts.
Okay, I guess I'm trying to get a better understanding. The appropriated fund balance is 564,285, and our largest shortfall is electricity. So what is the accurate dollar amount that we're looking to come up with?
That is it.
The
564,
the total number.
285.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, thank you.
All set?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Councilor Zanoni?
Thank you. Just one question about the electricity. So I know as a resident, I get autonomy over the supplier, but not the distributor. Does the town get to exercise that same authority, and do we exercise that authority?
So yes, absolutely. The town has a supplier contract, and that's John's the administrator of that, and they regularly look for the most advantageous supplier contract available.
Okay.
And that's through CCM.
So they negotiate our rate on our behalf?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. That's it, Madam Mayor.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Councilor Thomas.
4.
Councilor Ungary.
4.
Councilor Zanoni.
4.
Councilor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Councilor Mangini.
4.
Councilor Matthews.
4.
And Councilor Pisner.
4.
9 in favor, none against.
Item 14H.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Item 14H, resolution authorizing the town manager to sign an acceptance agreement from the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation for Lot 29 Main Street. Whereas the Connecticut Department of Transportation is advancing the development of a new train station in the town of Enfield, and it has identified a portion of Lot 29 on Main Street as necessary for this project. And whereas the proposed conveyance was referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission pursuant to Section 9-24 of the Connecticut General Statutes, and the Commission issued a favorable report on May 14th, 2026. And whereas the Town Council held a duly noticed public hearing on May 18th, 2026, earlier this evening, to receive public input on the proposed transaction. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Enfield hereby authorizes the town manager to execute the acceptance agreement of purchase and all related documents for the conveyance of a portion of Lot 29 on Main Street to the Connecticut Department of Transportation on such terms and conditions as the town manager deems appropriate and in the best interests of the town. And be it further resolved that the town manager is authorized to take all actions necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. Date prepared 4/9/2026 by the town manager's office.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Matt, anything by you on
Other
this?
than, this is a part of the train station project. They'll be building a parking area on this property as part of that.
And we're getting $90,500.
Yeah, $90,500.
Okay. Any questions? Go ahead,
So
Councilor
through
Pisner.
the mayor to the town manager, the state will then take care of this property. This will not be a property that the town will have to mow if there's a lawn, or do the snow, or do anything like that.
Right, that'll be part of the train station.
So it's 100% on them. And do we have a date as to when you think they're going to start this parking lot, or is it, I mean, I know the train station's a year away.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be the first part of their project. It'll be towards the end, so I would be expecting that somewhere in late '28, fall of '28 probably.
But once this is passed, it's theirs.
Yep. After I sign the documents, it'll be theirs.
It's all theirs.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, just so for anybody watching, the public hearing that we had at 6:55, there were no participants that came out to speak about this. It's not normal that we have a public hearing and then a resolution on the same night, but I think we're a little late getting back to them, so we kind of needed to do this time. It's not what we normally do, and that's why we had a public hearing 2 hours ago and are now passing a resolution. But for the record, there was nobody that came out to object or comment, so thank you.
Sorry, go ahead, Councilor Zanoni.
Thank you. To the mayor, to the town manager, once this property is transferred over and they engage in the construction of it, are they going to be making pilot payments based on the value of that property? Is like that going to go on to their pilot payments to us?
As much as anything goes on to their pilot payments, I mean.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Counselor Thomas.
4.
Counselor Ungary.
4.
Counselor Zanoni.
4.
Counselor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
4.
Counselor Matthews.
4.
Counselor Pisner.
4.
9 in favor, none against.
Item 14I, resolution authorizing the town manager to sign a contract with Municipal Tax Services LLC. Whereas the town council strives to identify all motor vehicles that should be assessed in the town of Enfield to pay their respective motor vehicle taxes. Be it resolved that the Enfield Town Council does hereby approve the town manager to sign a contract with Municipal Tax Services LLC as approved to form by the town attorney. Date prepared 5/15/2026 by Steve Belinda, Assistant Town Manager.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. This is the license plate reading company. I
That's
don't know,
correct. This
Steve,
was
if you
born
wanna-
out of the subcommittee.
Okay, Yep, general government did you?
Deputy Mayor.
Deputy Mayor?
So this has been in general government for 3+ years now. I'm Representative, Councilor Hall is not here tonight, but we have gone through this in multiple iterations. This was completely bipartisan as it came out of general government, and it should come as not a surprise to many that this is something that we are doing. We've been talking about this for the past couple of years, and I think we all see the benefit of doing this. For the last general government meeting, we had the tax assessor in the meeting with us. she was asked in a previous meeting to talk to other assessors around the state who are using the services of this company. She came back to us with very, very high marks for their professionalism, the efficiency with which they work. She said that they have their work elsewhere in the state has been very well received and helpful to the community. So we feel good about where we are with this project, and
So does staff.
so does staff. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Counselor Thomas.
4.
Counselor Ungary. 4. Counselor Zanoni.
4.
Counselor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala. 4. Counselor Mangini. 4. Counselor Matthews.
4.
And Counselor Pisner.
4.
9 in favor, none against.
Thank you. Item 14J on the agenda, Counselor Zanoni.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Resolution to repeal Resolution 6841. Whereas the town of Enfield adopted Resolution 6841 on January 8th, 2024, establishing a formal policy for the display and flying of flags on town-owned real property and town-owned personal property. And whereas the Town Council desires to formally adopt an updated policy regarding the displaying and flying of flags on all town property, therefore be it resolved, the Enfield Town Council hereby repeals Town Council Resolution 6841.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Thank you, Counselor Zanoni. Any questions or comments on this one? Counselor Mangini.
Thank you. I asked, and I want to thank the town staff for preparing copies for every council person of the resolution that we are rescinding, resolution number 6841. This resolution had passed at a prior council, and I think it is important that this current council be refreshed and also our new members understand what it is that we are repealing. I'm not going to read it. It's in front of you. But I think it's important, especially now that we go forward and repeal and adopt a new policy going forward. But I just want to make sure everyone is aware that you've got what we're repealing. So if there's any question, you have it. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Zanoni.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to deliver my comments kind of as one unit. So I've had the privilege to speak about this issue as a resident and as a former member of the Charter Revision Commission and as a town councilor, and I think there's some things that are really important for the public to understand. So first is the issue regarding legalities. So the incubus of this policy was, I think, a misunderstanding regarding a case in Boston and how that relates to the town of Enfield. And I want to talk about that briefly. So the city of Boston brought forward a policy that allowed the public to engage in an application process to make decisions about what flies at City Hall. That is illegal. We cannot do that. And the town of Enfield, what we had done is make a decision that the council collectively, not members of the public, have the opportunity to exercise government speech and the ability to advocate for what we believe as a council on our buildings. And these are two very different issues, and I think that many people have conflated that, and I think that that is just something that needs to be stated. So what's happening this evening is not going to put us in any way of litigation whatsoever. Now, granted, anyone can sue anyone for anything, but whether it holds up in court is a different matter. And I will note that, and when I had asked for the town attorney to include this in the legal opinion, I had asked, I said, why has the state capitol, the White House, they've been able to fly these flags without litigation? Why is that? Because they did it the way that we're going to accomplish it this evening, by recognizing that the town hall is exercising its right, our right, as 11 members of this council to express our viewpoint. So I respect on principle people that believe that we should just fly government flags. I think that's a valid opinion. I respectfully disagree with it, but the argument that what we're doing tonight is not legal is simply not true. So I think that's very important to discuss. Secondly, people are struggling, and I think Rebecca had noted it, I think Justin had noted it, I think Donna had noted it. And the messages that we send as a council, the messages that we send from this building, they do matter. They matter to me very much, and they matter to my family, they matter to my friends, and I think that the resolutions we're going to put forward tonight are not just going to speak to just the people that are included within that community, but the message of love that I think embodies everyone in this community. And I feel very strongly about that. And I do not believe that what we're going to put forward tonight should be a partisan vote. And there are many communities in our state that have had Republican first selectmen that have put forward resolutions to fly the pride flag. Darien has done so, New Canaan has done so, Greenwich has done so, Westport has done so. She's now running for comptroller. She's an endorsed candidate for comptroller. So I don't necessarily think it's a partisan issue in our state. It may be a partisan issue this evening, but I think it's important to recognize the legality aspect of this and what we're seeking to accomplish tonight. It will be my pleasure to support all three resolutions this evening, and I look forward to doing so. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Any? Councilor Pisner.
So I am going to respectfully disagree with you, Zach, and this is my reasoning why. The policy that we put through in January of 2024 spells out exactly what flags the town was going to approve. It was a very black and white, this is what it is. Nobody could misinterpret it. And that, to me, is what a policy is. I am working with Councilor Matthews and Councilor Crissati on our town policy and procedures. It's a policy. It will be put in place. We will follow it. My question, and I actually sent this to the town manager earlier today, is there's no policy. You're saying 11 people can collectively choose without any guidance what flag can fly or a banner. And I will stand by what I said before, that I believe a policy is straightforward. And I believe the policy we now have in place is the best policy for our town. So tonight, I will not be agreeing with this.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? I don't know, Cindy, I know that you had given us all of the town attorney opinions and your opinions, and these resolutions were prepared by the town attorney's office and approved by you, right?
Yes, this is what I spoke on at the last meeting with the legal opinion as to what Councilor Zanoni had alluded to with the government speech versus the right of citizens to petition the government for their speech.
Okay, thank you. Sensing no more discussion, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Councilor Thomas.
4.
Councilor Ongire.
Against?
Councilor Zanoni.
4.
Councilor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Councilor Mangini.
4.
Councilor Matthews.
4.
And Councilor Pisner.
Against.
7 in favor, 2 against.
Thank you. Item 14K, Councilor Thomas.
Resolution to adopt a policy for the display and flying of flags on town property. Whereas the Town Council Resolution 8641 that established a policy for displaying and flying flags of town property has been repealed, and whereas the Town Council desires to adopt an updated policy regarding the displaying and flying of flags on all town property and its conformity, I don't know. Conformity, thank you. With United States Supreme Court decision in Shurtleff versus City of Boston, 596 U.S. 243, 2022, and whereas flagpoles are not intended to serve as a forum of free speech, but of the public, and whereas the Town Council wishes to speak only for itself, not of other persons, organizations, entities, in establishing its flag policy, and that the flag policy is limited to flags approved by the Town Council as an expression of town official opinions. Therefore, be it resolved, the Enfield Town Council hereby adopts a policy for displaying and flying of all flags on town-owned property, stating that all flag displays are limited to approved by Town Council as government speech consistent with U.S. Supreme Court precedent regarding government speech. Date prepared 5/12/26, prepared by Town Manager.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Thank you, Councillor Thomas. Any additional questions, comments? Did you have one? Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Ongire.
Okay, I have a statement I'm prepared to read. Regarding the flag displays on the town hall property, one of the first things I considered was obtaining a legal opinion from our town attorney. And if I could be so bold as to interpret her opinion, she advised that if the town wished to display a specific flag as government speech in support of or advocacy for a particular position or policy, it could do so by repealing or amending Resolution Number 6841 to expressly allow additional flags should the Enfield Town Council choose to take such action. However, she also made several important points. She stated that the town flagpoles are not intended to serve as a forum for free expression by the public, and that flag displays are limited to those approved by the Town Council as an expression of the Town Council's position or opinion. Additionally, she advised against allowing private citizens or groups to petition the town to display specific flags, warning that such action could expose the town to high-profile and costly litigation. Even with a revised policy, the possibility would remain that First Amendment advocacy groups could challenge the town's actions through lawsuits. In other words, by passing, repealing, or adopting policies concerning flags on government flagpoles, we potentially open the door to legal challenges and unnecessary division within our community. That is why I believe we should maintain government neutrality and avoid giving preference to one group or a viewpoint of another. Once this process is opened up, the town cannot selectively discriminate based on viewpoints without legal consequences. A flag is more than fabric, it's a symbol. It represents affiliation, beliefs, and causes. But there's one flag that already includes everyone. It has 13 stripes and 50 stars, and it leaves no one out. That is our strength. The American flag embodies the very principles that make our nation great: liberty, justice, freedom, love of country, and a shared national purpose for all people. Because of that flag, every citizen has the freedom of speech and the right to come before this council and express their views openly and peacefully. Favoring one group over another can create division, but our American flag excludes no one. It unites us as one community while respecting our individual differences and opinions. There's no greater symbol of inclusion than the flag of the United States of America. So I will not be supporting this amendment tonight based on the liabilities of potential lawsuits. That being said, I don't need a flag to remind me to love people, to appreciate diversity, to accept people, to value people. The pride flag is not offensive to me. Rebecca and Justin, some of the things you mentioned is just atrocious. It's terrible, it's awful. And I feel bad that that even happens. It shouldn't. Any hate towards the LGBTQ community is unacceptable. I recognize the hardship. It's terrible. So I can't let anyone's personal interest override my fiduciary responsibility to our town. That's my job, and that's why I was elected to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Mangini?
Thank you. I just want to make a comment. With all due respect to my fellow councilors, especially to my dear friend, I most definitely am going to be supporting all of these amendments, resolutions rather. We talk about diversity, and granted, the American flag should be inclusive for all people, but it is not. Not while we have to fight constantly to respect people of different races, religions, sexual orientation. And furthermore, we do have, under the First Amendment of our Constitution, what's called freedom of speech. And nowhere does freedom of speech allow or encourage a group or one individual to dismiss another or another group's ability to display their beliefs through freedom of speech. And as far as people in our community feeling isolated and threatened and not part of, that is really a most horrible form of community. We need to work harder as a society. But right here in Enfield, we can and we will be doing something to show our community members that we do care and that every single person in this community is important on their own terms. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Just a reminder that this is another resolution that has been crafted at the legal advice that we have gotten, and it is pursuant to the Supreme Court ruling in Shercliffe versus Boston. Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I'm sorry, I just want to make one comment about the American flag. There are many people, and this time of year we are spending time remembering many people who have made tremendous sacrifices for that flag and what it stands for. And it is not an exclusionary flag. And anybody that would describe it that way, I would take issue with that. That's not what this country is about. That's not what that flag is about. And I really love our flag and everything that it stands for. And honestly, it stands for the kind of dialogue and discussion that's going on in this room right now, as much as it's difficult for us sometimes to understand. But I don't want anybody to think that this is an either or, because it's not, and it shouldn't be. And I just want people to remember the veterans, our men and women in armed forces, and Americans who just believe in this country. I do. So I would just caution people in dialogue here and out there with whatever is going to transpire who thinks that this is something that is not American flag, because it's not. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Councilor Thomas.
4.
Councilor Ungary.
Against.
Councilor Zanoni.
4.
Councilor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Councilor Mangini.
4.
Councilor Matthews.
4.
And Councilor Pisner.
Against.
7 in favor, 2 against.
Thank you. Item 14O on the agenda, Councilor Matthews.
Resolution proclaiming June as Pride Month. Whereas the Town Council of Town of Enfield, Connecticut welcomes and encourages diversity and inclusion within our community, and whereas celebrating Pride Month raises awareness and provides support and advocacy for the LGBT community and is an opportunity to become educated, engage in dialogue, strengthen alliances, and build a better Enfield, and whereas Pride Month is dedicated to the uplifting of LGBT voices, a celebration of the human spirit and of human rights, and is an opportunity for everyone to embrace and celebrate our differences as the things that make us special, and whereas each color on the 6-color flag has its own meaning. Red is symbolic of life, orange is symbolic of healing, yellow represents sunshine, green represents nature, blue represents harmony, and purple represents spirit, and whereas displaying the rainbow flag, throughout the month of June further symbolizes the town of Enfield's commitment and celebration of diversity and support of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. And it is a symbol of our unity and an affirmation of the belief that we are all better together. Now, therefore, be it resolved. The Town Council hereby proclaims June as Pride Month to celebrate the great diversity of Enfield residents. Be it further resolved, the Town Council urges all residents and businesses to celebrate and build a culture of inclusiveness and acceptance during the month of June and every month. Be it further resolved that the town of Enfield will begin the implementation of flying or displaying the rainbow flag at the town hall starting at June 1st and ending on June 30th this year and each year after to inspire equity, create alliances, and celebrate diversity. Date prepared 5/12/2026, prepared by the town manager's office.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Thank you, Counselor Matthews. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make an amendment.
Go ahead, Counselor Zanoni.
Thank you. So where it references LGBT, I would like to make an amendment to add Q+, so it says LGBTQ+ in the reference. Madam Clerk, do I need to read into the record where those instances are?
It would just be in the second and the third paragraph, right?
Okay. Yeah, and would we want to do it in the fifth paragraph after transgender?
What do you want it to say after that? Because it's not
You
an
would say
initial then.
queer plus.
Okay. So you'd have two amendments adding Q+, right? And one in
Yep.
the second and one in the third.
And then, so I'll make that amendment first, and then we'll go to the second.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'll make that
That
amendment.
might be.
I'll
clear.
second that amendment.
All right, so the motion was made to amend paragraphs 2 and 3 to add letter Q+ after LGBT in the second and the third paragraph. That motion was made and seconded. Any discussion on that amendment? All in favor of the amendment? 9 in favor, none against. That is their first amendment. Let's do the second amendment because it's probably cleaner to do it that way.
Okay, thank you. So the second one is to alter the fifth paragraph and add after lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, add queer plus community.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to amend the fifth paragraph, adding queer plus after transgender. Right? Okay. Any questions or comments on that amendment? All in favor of that amendment? 9 in favor, none against. So we have the resolution as amended now open for discussion. All right. Sensing no additional comments, do I have, it's on the resolution as amended. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella.
4.
Counselor Thomas.
4.
Counselor Ungary.
4.
Counselor Zanoni.
4.
Counselor Allegro.
4.
Mayor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
4.
Counselor Matthews.
4.
And Counselor Pisner.
Against.
That's 8 in favor, 1 against.
Thank you. Item 15, items for discussion. There is none. Item 16, any other business proper to come before said meeting. Deputy Mayor.
Yep, I believe coming out of our, I think Councilor Ongire, you might want to revise a vote. Is that right?
Thank you, yes.
Go ahead, Madam Mayor. I think Councilor Ongire would like to revise a vote.
Yes, I thought we were voting on changing with the
No,
amendment.
resolution as amendment, as amended, go ahead.
Okay, can I change that to against, please?
Sheila got that? Okay, so that would be 7 in favor, 2 against.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so now we're back on item 16. Any other business proper to come before said meeting? Deputy Mayor.
Yes, so coming out of our discussions earlier, we were asked to add an item to the agenda tonight so the town attorney can execute some direction that we gave her earlier. And so I guess I'm going to read this am I going to offer a resolution,
This is a
that
resolution.
says what this says?
We need to first suspend the rules
Oh,
to
I'm sorry.
add
I need to
an
make a
item.
motion to suspend the rules to allow me to add this item for the town attorney to the agenda.
All right, motion made
Second.
to suspend the rules and add item to agenda, and that was seconded by Counselor Pisner. All in favor? 9 in favor, none against. And this is after coming out of executive session, and so I believe this is resolution, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to make a resolution to authorize the town with the legal services of McGregor Law Group, PC of Boston, as special counsel to file and pursue a lawsuit in Suffolk Superior Court against the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, Mass DEP, and other parties as appropriate to challenge the Mass DEP's final authorization to construct, permit Deer Park recycling in East Long Meadow on legal grounds deemed by special counsel to be warranted and to serve on the Mass DEP such advance notice thereof as is required. Legal fees and expenses therefore to be authorized, amendments to special counsel's existing fee agreement for other related litigation.
Second.
I need a so moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So to clarify, we have been working as a council to oppose, did you need something?
No, I was just going to have Cindy, after you're done, just ask.
Okay, sorry. We have been working as a council to oppose the construction of the Deer Park recycling facility just over the border in East Long Meadow. We had set aside approximately $200,000 in the previous council to litigate this matter. We have taken on council's advice to appeal a recent judgment not in the town's favor. The town attorney has been consulted, and the additional cost for this next step we anticipate to be approximately $25,000. We feel that we need to continue to be in the fight at this point, and I think we're pretty unanimous on that, and so that's what this is here today. Thank you.
I was not here, so I defer if there's any additional comments or information.
So the town of Enfield is currently appealing East Long Meadow Board of Health's decision for the site approval. This is an appeal of the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection's approval authority to construct permit. So the two go hand in hand. You have to have the site, then you have to have the authority to construct. The next step will be the authority to operate, but the town is now authorizing the appeal of the authority, the authorization to construct. Obviously, I'll keep the town council apprised of developments in this matter, as well as the cost associated with the appeal.
Go ahead, Councilor Pisner.
So just for those people watching, people might be saying, this is East Long Meadow, why do we care? What they're going to do if this plant opens is they're going to be taking huge trucks of materials over our roads and traveling down Elm Street, down Route 5 on our roads. So we have been very vocal from day one. This has been going on about 4 years now. I went to several of the meetings at their planning and zoning when this first came to light. We definitely have some skin in the game on this, and I think that's why we earmarked that $200,000. And again, it was pretty much consensus that we would ask our town attorney to continue this fight right now, because we do think it's important that our town doesn't suffer for them.
Okay, thank you. Any additional comments? Go ahead, Councilor Zanoni.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I'll respectfully disagree with my colleagues this evening. I am incredibly sympathetic of this cause, and I have a lot of reservations about the rail line. And I think, you know, as Councilor Pisner had alluded to, they're basing in East Long Meadow a lot of this on the idea of having a rail line that's going to alleviate the traffic. That's not going to transpire anytime soon. That being said, I think while there are residents that are going to be affected by this. I would prefer that we engage in non-litigative action and lean on our delegation in Hartford to try to figure out how we can handle this in regards to our state roads without expensing taxpayer dollars any further. So I will not be supporting the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional comments or questions? All right, there was a motion made, it was seconded, so we're good. All right, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Santinella,
4.
Councilor Thomas,
4.
Councilor Ungary,
4.
Councilor Zanoni,
Against.
Councilor Allegro,
4.
Mayor Sakala,
4.
Councilor Mangini,
4.
Councilor Matthews,
4.
Councilor Pisner,
4.
8 in favor, 1 against.
Thank you. Item 17 on the agenda, public communications. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak? Going once. Going twice. All right. Councilor Communications, item 18 on the agenda. Any communications? All right. 19, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? 9 in favor, none against. Thank you very much.